Have you ever wanted to run around and kill giant autonomous machines for no reason? They did nothing to you with a bow and arrow. Have you ever wanted to do that? Because if you have, come to the right place, my dudes. Ooh, como estas? I am Mitchell.
Hi, I'm Jordan.
And we're going to be talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, the first game.
So pretty much in the first game,
There are a lot of secret areas, a lot of niche collectibles to get, and there's also a lot of really good things you can get very early on, given some of the game's wonky mechanics,
yeah.
such as
But first thing we should start off is by telling you what the storyline is. Pretty much at the beginning of the game, you are born as an outcast, as another outcast takes you in and trains you and all that stuff. And then you do this thing, this challenge that if you win, you gain like the
you gain troubleship, I believe that's the word for
yeah.
it. And so you go to do that, but unexpectedly a cult of sort ends up disrupting it and killing everybody.
Not everyone, but
most everyone.
90% and
during the
mainly
prison.
targeting Aloy, the main
Mhm.
character.
Yes.
And at a young age, Aloy fell into this hole, which was more of a bunker, and she traveled deep into this and found this small
Triangular device. It's almost like a little pizza slice, and she saw it was on a body and it was on the ear, so she just put it on her ear and just kind of stuck there.
And it was called the what?
Focus.
The focus. And the main reason why the cult was targeting her that day because of the focus.
Not only was it because of the focus, it's also because previously to all these events, Earth was once a bustling, highly technological planet. We had focuses and stuff, which were essentially gave you the ability to see through walls, which is freaking epic. But part of one of the military programs that was founded by Ted Faro, called Faro Automations, he had made a legion of fully autonomous robots to fight wars. And these robots run off biomass fuel, so like trees, essentially anything that lives, they will feed off for energy. And what ended up happening was these machines went rogue. And they started to wipe out the planet at an exponential pace, faster to kill them off, because there were these titans, these very large, fully autonomous machines called Horuses. And these Horuses had printing units to be able to print the smaller, lesser machines that were destroying the planet at like fast enough to kill them.
Yeah, and pretty much all. Should we go for like the beginning of the game?
No, let's just continue on with the past stuff.
What? Past. Yeah, and then ever since that's happened,
ever since the first Going Rogue happened,
Going Rogue,
there was a band of scientists who wanted to not try to save humanity per se. They wanted to prolong humanity. Well, not prolong, but keep humanity going. So they founded a project called Gaia. Gaia was essentially a massive piece of technology that could both create animals and destroy it if need be. So that was the final, quote-unquote, final stand of modern-day humans. 1,000 years into the future, which is where the first Horizon game takes place, humanity has resorted to living in small tribes.
like back into pretty much the Stone Age.
Yeah, so we're back in Stone Age, but we're kind of advanced.
Advanced with it because they still have people take the technology from them, as they call the Metal Age.
Or what a lot of them call the Old Ones.
the old ones. And pretty much at the beginning of the game, you start off, like we said, you're as a outcast, and then all that stuff. But you are raised
by an outcast named Rost. And the definition of outcast in Horizon is that you were born without a mother.
And she was found at Mother's Point, something like that.
Something, Mother's Cradle or something. I have no idea. Don't look it up. Okay. So, she's found there, and apparently the quote-unquote goddess was fighting off the Metal Devil, which were the Horuses that I previously mentioned, the giant titan things. Was quote-unquote fighting one of them off when Aloy was born. Now, what actually had happened was the main scientist, main programmer, who was...
Mother's Point. That's the main spot, is Mother's Point, where she was found...
No, let me speak.
In front of the door.
Let me get my shit off.
Shut up.
Anyway, so what had happened was the main scientist, who was part of the... Project Zero Dawn, was... she cloned herself in this case Aloy. She had made a clone of Elizabeth. Sobek had made a clone of herself in hopes that one day that clone will be able to explore Earth and uncover the hidden secrets of the old world. And that takes us to the beginning of just after the Proving. So, just after the Proving, you become a Seeker, which means you can go anywhere in the Horizon map outside of All Mother or whatever.
All Mother. No, I think it was Mother's Point. The main tribe.
No, it's not called Mother's Point, you idiot. Anyway, you soon figure out that the people who had attacked at the Proving, killing Rost and many other people, was a cult known as the Eclipse Cult. And the Eclipse Cult serve a rogue AI for one of the Gaia functions. That function being Hades. So Hades wants nothing to do but destroy Earth, and it just wants to destroy everything. It doesn't want anything to live. So these cultists are going around doing that bidding for them. They're also stragglers from the reign of the old Sun King, who was essentially a slave owner. He treated people like slaves, enslaved people who weren't Karja, and they just rained terror everywhere. And the game of Horizon is set 4 years after the old Sun King dies. Then his son takes over, Sun King Avad, who is much nicer. And he wishes for a world of prosperity, a world of no fighting. He wishes that the world is at peace. So, your first settlement that you reach outside of Nora territory, which is the tribe you are part of, is the Land of the Sun, or whatever. It's Karja land. The Karja are all very nice, very well spoken. They're mostly noble and stuff. Essentially like a giant kingdom. And then you go to then your next main point where you travel to is the city of Meridian, which is aka the Palace of the Sun, which is where Sun King Avad resides. And he just wants the best for his people. Like I had said, he had killed his father because of the rain, his terrible rain. And after that, he sent out everybody who still wanted to follow the Mad Sun King, as they call him. He cast all of them out, and then they died back a little bit, traveling north to the old Sun King's summer palace, essentially. And that's their current base of operations. And there was a very large arena there that was used during the reign of the Mad Sun King. as essentially entertainment. They would send 2-3 people in there. They had no weapons and no nothing, and they would release a very angry, corrupting machine in there that was corrupted by them, of course being under Hades. It would just destroy everyone. It was used as a form of entertainment, like I had previously said, but it was just plain genocide. I mean, they would run around. They would look for people, kids, mothers, women, men, anyone.
Soldiers, too.
Soldiers, well, just any human in general who didn't align with what they wanted, they were thrown into that pit, and they never escaped.
Pretty much, it's just like they're saying, oh, if you don't believe what we believe, you are screwed. You're dead.
We are going to kill you for
crap.
We're going to kill you for that. Anyway, so what
did you even run down of? We didn't run down of some of the other things too, didn't we?
We're fine. We can recap.
Yeah.
Anyhow, what's our episode? Anyway, so Aloy has reached the Sundom. King Palace of the Sun. Meridian. Yes, I previously said that. And during the night before the proving happened, she'd met a man named Aaron, and there was another man, I forgot his name. The other man, who I forgot the name of, he also had a focus. His focus was different from Aloy's, however. His was almost tainted. Almost like if his focus got into the wrong hands, then it would be able to be remotely destroyed. So what had actually happened was they were using that man's focus as a beacon to prevent, so they would know where to go and where to start the mass genocide. So you recuperate with another man named Aaron in Meridian, who you met the night before the proving, and he is an alcoholic, like raving alcoholic, but also kind of quirky in a way. He uses a hammer. He is part of a different tribe people called the Oseram. They are essentially the metal workers, the steel workers, the technological advancement kind of people. Meridian that's got like your scripture, that's got your poems, that's got all of your writing. Now, previously, it was everybody against the Carja. Everybody hated the Carja because of the Bad Sun King. And what had happened was, after the Mad Sun King had died, and Sun King Avad, the current Sun King, had taken rule, everything is starting to even out. I probably recapped this a million times, but he's aiming for peace with all the other tribes. And Aloy, still hell confused, is like, okay, but then she gets a very interesting radio signaling from a unknown man. This man will be later introduced as a man named Silence, but currently Aloy does not know that. And he is part of a different tribe called the Banuk most of the Banuk backstory is only accessible through the DLC that was released a year or two after Horizon Zero Dawn was released. So you don't really get much details on them. Anyway, Silence is part of the Banuk. They are the shamans. Those are your spirit people, the people who are guided by spirits of the world. And they have been able to tame machines without the use of an override or a cauldron. Now, you gain overrides through cauldrons. There are 4 different cauldrons, and each one gives you different kinds of machines once you override it. First one giving you the basic stuff, basic machines. The last one giving you access to heavy combat machines such as the Thunderjaw, aka the best looking machine in the first game.
I can vouch for that. That thing is, should I say this, badass no matter what. If you look at it, it is.
It kicks ass.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Should we start talking about the secret places that we go see?
No, I want to run down the story first.
You do that.
So, Aloy goes to an interesting place, which was a office building of Ted Faro. Well, actually, previous to that, it was just after the Proving Massacre. Aloy and a war chief with a small hunting party with her. Aloy discovers a previous massacre with an interesting machine right next to it. That machine is a corruptor. You fought one of these after Aloy wakes up and escapes the mountain. Now, corruptors, what they do is they turn machines against. They control the machines. And what had happened was there was a massacre between the Eclipse cultists that were using the corruptors and a whole dead war party of people that were grieving and angry about the previous Proving Massacre. So, Aloy decides to follow the blood tracks, and she eventually finds a quarry that was filled to the brim with blaze and people who looked identical to people that attacked at the Proving. However, they were not with their leader being Helis. Helis is the man who killed Rost, and he is the leader of the cult, just under Hades. So, and the war party is now with Aloy, so the one that hasn't been massacred is Aloy. Aloy explains to the war chief that the blaze, which is the gasoline, fire, flammable stuff, that world, the blaze is not used for burning, like what the Nora would use it for. The blaze is used for blasting. They're trying to uncover more of the machines, such as corruptors, or deathbringers, which you get introduced to later in the game. They're trying to uncover more of those and turn more of them on to create an army against anybody who stands against them. And they just have a lot of massive quarries of them trying to dig them up. Because mind you, these things have been through a while of 1,000 years of decomposition for these machines, for these giant murder things. So Aloy then figures out there is a letter that there is a blaze stockade in a stadium in some ruins of the old world, not too far away from the quarry she's currently at. And she has and the war chief, still angry about her daughter's death in the Proving, is like, we will go there, we will kill all of the cultists. Leave none of the cultists alive. So Aloy goes there, but the Nora scouts that they had sent there previously have figured out they have comm systems, almost like sirens that they can use if a camp is being attacked, to call in many more reinforcements. So before you actually go into the arena at all, well, not the arena in the Summer Palace, but an old world ruin, you actually end up taking out all of these camps, preferably with stealth, but you end up taking out all the alarms, so that it's just you and the machines, and the people in the arena, and the Nora who scatter amongst the ruins, ready to make the final push. Now, a really interesting tip that you can use to actually make this arena fight a lot easier is run around the back of the arena. There should be a little slit, and this is like, you gotta get pixel perfect here. You can just barely see the blaze. If you can get an arrow through there and get to hit the blaze, it will actually blow open that wall that you are standing at, and you'll be able to go directly in without having to sneak past any enemies. And then after that, you figure out that, like, oh, well, this is the massacre that we just kind of like blocked almost, because they were going to go back for a part 2. They want to destroy, like I said, they want to destroy life. They don't want you to be able to live. They want everything to die. So you're at the palace, you've spoken with Silence, you're at the skyscraper. There is an interesting thing there. I couldn't give the exact showing of how to do it without a bit of gameplay. There is a collectible called a power cell up the on the tower, and if you collect, I believe it's 6 of them, then you will be able to unlock the best armor in the game.
Yeah, you have to find 3, and there's already 3 power cells already in there.
And once you do that, you have to do like a really simple little puzzle,
Uh-huh.
and then you get access to the best armor in the game. This armor is technology of the old world. It gives you a shield that would be equivalent to 200 HP. So, at max level, that would give Aloy a max of 1000 HP.
Yeah, and also, like when you're in the game for the first time, and once you just start, one of the power cells is in Mother's Point. So if you go look,
It's not Mother's Point.
Shut up, all Mother. But if you look around, and there's a small vent that you can go in, and will have to walk around inside of it, and you will find the power cell. And there you can find 2 other ones in.
Like I said, one on the skyscraper, and the last one is found towards the end of the game.
In the quest called something Prime. It looks like something like an Optimus Prime type thing. Optimus Prime. Are you sure?
Nope, I'm positive. It is found towards the end of the game when you are trying to.
Cauldron Sigma.
Yeah, it exists. It's not found in Cauldron Sigma though.
No, that's
It's
what
actually
it
it's
says.
Signa.
There's an M.
Sigma.
Sigma.
That's Cauldron Sigma. Let me look at that here. So, All Mother is where you fight your first corruptor and stuff. But once you get to there is a corrupted zone, and there is a area called Maker's End. Maker's End is where you first talk to Silence, and where you first find all of your interesting or where you first talk to Silence, where you first really get the depth of how technologically advanced humanity was for 2039, which is about 19 years from now. So now, once you come from there, you make your way back to Meridian, because that's like the main. That's where you're gonna be for most of the game, is Meridian. That's where you're gonna be chilling.
Unless you want to go out, just
yeah, but like that's what
go out and do your own thing.
Yeah, like once you finish the game, that's where you're gonna be chilling. Then Silence gives you coordinates to a place that's far out from the that's far out from where you once previously were. So you got to go back to that arena, and you got to hike north. There you will find the remnants of a Horus that you can go inside of. Aloy will do that, and she will find a riddle called some corruptors. But once she gets to the main room, which is part of where the data she needs is, she figures out that cultists have successfully revived a Deathbringer. Big guns, pretty damaging, pretty strong. And this one can walk, unlike the one in Maker's End, which is paraplegic. The one here can walk around, and it can and will fire at you at will. So what you have to do is you have to kill. So you will be standing above it. You will be elevated, but it can shoot down the elevation. So your main goal: take out as many cultists as you can before it starts shooting you down. Then run to either left or right. Run to either left or right hand side, and you want to rappel down into the arena. From there, spam fire and your precision arrows. Precision arrows to target the little demons who try to kill you, and fire arrows because all of the old world machines are prone to overheating. So fire works best. Then you get through there. But if you have the DLC, there will be a area above that, which is all Banuk territory. And this gives you access to a few new machines, being the Fireclaw, Scorcher, and Frostclaw, and a new, almost corrupted form called Demonix. And it is it's a very good DLC, honestly. It gives you a lot of really good content. It also gives you access to the best weapons in the game. The Storm Slinger, they literally give you a flamethrower, an ice thrower, and just some better versions of the Shadow Karja weapons, such as the Champion's Hunter Bow, which is something I love to main all the time whenever I play. So, back to the main story, not the DLC story. You finish that. You still have no idea who Silence is. No idea who's this man just kind of talking your focus and kind of just hacked in. So, now you're getting, essentially, you get coordinates to a weird, really remote place in the jungle that are southwest, or that are south of Meridian. Southwest, southwest, yeah. That are west from Meridian. And in there, Silence has scouted out a base of Eclipse. Now, a little spoiler is that Silence used to be part of the Eclipse cult, but he since left because their methods got a little too violent. Anyway, he knows where they are, and Hades will just happen to be there as well. So if Aloy can get in there and kill Hades, then you'll probably stop the entire complex. So she goes in there, and she finds the tonic that a shutdown device is on, and she tries to destroy it, but Hades sends a thing through it that essentially means that he's not dead. He's very much still alive, and he ends up resurrecting many Deathbringers that were there, and they end up firing at the tonic you're on, destroying it, and then you have to run through and climb up through a waterfall and rappel down the waterfall, but where you're rappelling gets blown out, so it falls, gets damaged, yada yada. Then you go to the Sun Palace, the Madison King's Summer Palace, where you get to see the arena and the fights and stuff. Aloy has the ability to go under that arena, given the fact that she is Elizabeth Sobek's clone, which means she can go through the door that's been guarded by DNA. So she does that, but unbeknownst to her, she is ambushed by Helis and a couple of his goons. They knock her out and stuff after she's done getting the information she needs. They knock her out and stuff. Then they throw her into the arena. They strip her of all of her gear and stuff. She's in the arena. There is a corrupted behemoth in that arena. So what you have to do is, there are some pillars around the map, around the arena. You have to have the behemoth charge into those pillars, not dying in the process.
Where I am right now.
For 3 of them. Yes, it has to hit 3 of the things, then you get your gear back. And then after that, you kill the behemoth, and then Helis will send 2 corruptors after you. But then you finally get a glimpse of what Silence looks like as he busts through the gate with 2 of his tamed Ravagers. The Ravagers handle the corruptors and stuff, and you're able to ride away from the arena. Would you like to say some words?
That's pretty much where I'm at right now, is trying to I already got that done. What I'm doing right now in the game is pretty much, because I went back to All Mothers. When I got there to the campfire, there was one of those corruptors right there.
Yeah.
Just standing there trying to go over there.
Oh yes. So after you're done with that, they send a huge raid on the Nora land. So Aloy beelines back there. But unfortunately she is slightly too late as the invasion has already started. So you must sneak your way through help any Noras that you can help, and they will actually help you fight, along with not getting absolutely mauled to death. Then you make your way to All Mother, where there is a corrupted Thunderjaw that you must quell. You do that, and then you go into the mountain, which is where everybody's held up and stuff. Then you see one of the doors, and the door does like an identiscan thing to figure out who it is. And Aloy goes in. She realizes that she is not a quote-unquote human. She is a clone of a human, which brings her down. She does not know who or what she is anymore. And what she does is she runs through like the little nursery that was there, and then she exits, and then everybody's referring to her as a goddess. Aloy, however, does not want this kind of praise, because previously, as a child, she was outcasted. Nobody wanted to see her, nobody wanted to be seen with her. So she says, no, I don't want this praise. That why give it to me now and not previously in my life? So she guides the way to Meridian, as there is a final attack going on there. At Meridian, you warn the Sun King of it, because the cult is trying to get Hades to a giant tower called the Spire. The Spire will broadcast a signal that will awaken all bunch of corrupted beasts and stuff. So you go back to Meridian, tell the Sun King what's happening, then you rest. In the morning that comes, there is smoke. It's a foggy morning, smoke, rain, and there is smoke coming from one of the bridges. Avada think it's wood smoke from the armies merging together for Long March City gates. But then in front of him, that entire rock face explodes. And fire and death everywhere. Corruptors start to run in, and
GAIA Prime, that's the mission that I'm on.
Gaia Prime, yeah.
GAIA Prime.
So they are running through and stuff. And then Aloy actually, she sees Helis. Helis takes out a bunch of the city guard. Aloy jumps down, much to the protest of Avod, as Helis almost killed her. And then you gotta kill Helis. What I would recommend is using anything ice. I show him your best bet. So he is not weak to fire at all. So you use ice, you kill him, and then you go down to one of the city gates, where you must defend until eventually Deathbringers send a volley of rocket pods at the gate, and the gate explodes, falling off of Aloy. Then, Aloy's childhood friend Ish, who you help at the beginning of the game, named Teb, Teb comes and helps her. He makes sure she's okay and stuff, and Aloy asks how he is. Teb responds with live mostly, but fine. And by then, there is fire everywhere. Everything has been blown up or destroyed. So Aloy runs through the Meridian village, or the ruins of what's left of it. And in there, you got to fight a corrupted Longleg, which is a ostrich-looking boy. Anyway, so she gets to the mountain where the spire is. She gets to the base of that, and the signal starts to get transmitted. And Aaron, who's been something called the Vanguard, the Deathbringers like to pour through that. Almost. Oh, pretty much. Not almost. They did. So Aloy scales that mountain, racing against the clock, as the signal starts being broadcasted, so some of the ancient machines start awakening, such as Deathbringers and Corruptors. She gets to the top, and it's Aaron, Sonia, Varl, and that's it. Unless you do like some other side quests, or you have DLC, then you get like more characters, more cutscenes. Aloy go so the enemies are up over a ridge. Aloy goes up and over that ridge, and she sees that the Deathbringer is not like any she's faced before. All Deathbringers, besides this one, are outfitted with rocket pods. This one, on the other hand, was outfitted with railguns. Ooh. And this is a timed fight. So you have, I believe it's 15 minutes to bring down this Deathbringer while you're also being attacked by more machines, such as a corrupted Ravager, Scrapper, and Grazer. You finish that fight, and then what you get from the from Gaia Prime from that quest, something called the Master Override. That's where you're going to shut down Hades. Aloy stabs Hades in its eye kind of thing. She gets electrocuted, like pretty badly. Point where like she's like out cold and stuff. She starts like dreaming of like the world being fixed and stuff. Like it's a pretty weird technological thing. And she's right. The world has been saved, or that is to be thought. This is where we move to the second game, which will not be covered in this podcast here. If you want to hear more, go to Mitchell Gaming on YouTube, and this is where that's where you'll be able to find the rest of this series on Horizon Zero Dawn.
And then we'll be making a account on Spotify, so catch on there to see if you can find the account too.
See ya.